So let's talk about expressions today. A lot of you guys are, when you do expressions, you do them symbolically. So this is what I mean. Whenever you guys do expressions, I see stuff like this. So this is stuff that I've covered for students in private tutoring, but I feel like I shouldn't really exclude you guys from this important lesson, so I'm just going to share it. Alright, so these are some basic expressions. Alright, these are expressions that are very just universal expressions. If you've ever read Scott McCloud, I always refer to Scott McCloud's book when I'm talking about expressions. There's an amazing chapter in how he talks about how expressions are universal, and the more you customize and add and make more realistic the face, the less relatable it might be. So you have to make sure that you are separating relatability from how it affects the way you draw the character, which is really, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me try that again. When you guys draw a character that you are trying to make have an expression, um, you are you have to make sure that the character comes first and the expression comes after. What I mean by that is do not allow the expression to change your character's identity and facial uniqueness by over-representing the expression. So if you guys are doing a smiley face, if I see this in a smiley face, it means you did something wrong. When we see a smiley face in real life, more goes into it than this simple curve. We have all kinds of muscle contractions, all kinds of muscle compression, effects on the other features. Sometimes you can smile with your eyes, sometimes you can smile only with your mouth. Sometimes you can smile with your whole face. Sometimes your nose is involved in the smile. So the smile right here is very beautiful, very subtle, and that's exactly the kind of smile you want to create when you're thinking a happy face. But some of you can see this curve is very minimal. The curve is practically non-existent because we don't need this curve here, this overrepresentation, this symbol to express happiness. We have the anatomy to help us express the happiness. We have the familiarity and the function of the human face to express when it is feeling content and above content and happy. Please, when you are doing expressions, do not use these symbols. Think rather what actually happens with the face when it is expressing an emotion. Also, please, this one's so cute. Oh, this one's my favorite. Please don't forget eyebrows. Eyebrows change everything. Okay? Nervousness, anger, evil, seductive, come hither. Eyebrows change everything. If expression is embedded in any feature on the face, expression is found in the eyebrows. Try to see how much you can do with the eyebrows, and I think you will find that the face reads a lot quicker and the expression reads a lot quicker when it comes to the eyebrows. So what's all y'all talking about? Is everybody following me? I was actually going to use my verse as expression reference. 2332 here in Germany. You guys are throwing in some emoticons. Okay, so I'm gonna continue now, alright? Alright, so let's make this girl sad. Actually, let you guys choose. What expression should I make her have? Throw an expression at me that you find very difficult to draw. Throw it at me right now. Just give me a list of expressions you guys want me to shift around for you. Stop throwing papers around and step back. Is Control Shift Z. Sad sounds good. DreamWorks Smark. Disgusted, seductive, skepticism. The Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa isn't really that difficult an expression to break down. Enraged, slightly confused, anger, enraged, disgusted, shy. All right, let's do disgusted. When you are disgusted, a lot of things go into the disgust. There is the fact that the eyebrows sort of create a more surrendered kind of expression where they are not really active in the expression. What happens is that when, let's say you smelled something really bad, your features move away from that thing. I don't know how to show you, but when someone is disgusted of something, when I'm disgusted of something, it seems like my nose just wants to run off my face, or my eyebrows just try to escape my face by going all the way up. So disgusted is a very, very simple expression, and the fact that there isn't any serious emotion behind it. It's a physical repulsion. It's a physical movement away from something. Something disgusted you, possibly a smell, possibly someone's actions. But disgust is a very specific emotion. It's not anything that is driven by emotion or driven by uh, depression or something like that. It's more of a physical reaction. I'm going to flare the nose, and I'm going to... Most of the time our mouth is open. Her mouth isn't open, but do remember that the mouth can be open. Very careful not to try to make it a sad expression. And what happens is that asymmetry takes over, and one of her lips is going to be asymmetric. And she's kind of disgusted and unimpressed, but what happens with her cheeks is that, see, I'm moving the lip up, but I'm not just moving the lip up, I'm going to the cheek and moving that up, and I'm going to the nose and moving that up. I also can't just leave the eyes half open like that. I have to make sure we see more of the whites of the eyes. The chin also affects it. She's still smiling, so I got to get rid of her dimples and leave only one side to have dimples. Asymmetry is key here. Again, it's a physical repulsion. You're kind of just grossed out at someone's actions. 2 girls, 1 cup or some shit like that. I'll never forgive you, Anna. Not Anna, the Anna here, the Anna in university that showed me that disgusting video. She's like, oh, Istebrak, let's go watch a video together. Oh, everyone's talking about it. And little old me was like, okay, let's go watch it together. And as you can imagine, this was my face. Adding a little bit more on the eyebrows. One eyebrow can sort of go up. And I'm continuing this disgust. I'm gonna thin out this whoopsie. I'm gonna thin out this this dimple, and I want to break the shadow underneath because the eyes went all the way up. She's kind of still smiling. So you see, it's more complicated than those simple symbols that you see and those emoticons that you use. It's more complicated than that because I have to think about expression, I have to think about features and how the features affect each other. Sometimes when someone's disgusted, their nose flares up. So that's sort of another thing you have to think about. How the features affect each other. Very, very important. We're going to see less of her eyelid because her eyes are open all the way. So this is going to move up. These are very crude sketches, I'm very sorry, but I kind of just want to show you the basics of it all. So I might run right through the hour on this lesson, or I might just stop soon after one more expression and do the critiques for you guys. I just want to keep trying to make the eyeballs seem open, like she's really opened her eyes, like she's really grossed out. Now she's more grossed out than unimpressed. Kind of shock. There's a little bit of shock when someone's grossed out. It's like, God, why would they do that with that cup? Like, why? How much money did they get for that? Like, what was involved in that? Who directed that? Who's the fucking retard that thought, okay, hey, let's do this video. See how many people we can gross out. I'm just grossed out just thinking about it. Yeah, that's basically what she's doing right now. Want to make it a little less stated. Sometimes we push our chin up. She's kind of opened her eyes. There is the disgust. No, she's confused. No, Istebrak, stop. Yeah, there's that middle push right up there. All of that just to get from here. She's kind of seductive in this one, eh? To here. Do you see? It wasn't a simple matter of just changing her eyebrows. All of the features were affected. We had to think about symmetry. We had to think about what happens to her face. We had to think about, are the dimples showing? We had to think about the nostrils and how they flare up and how every feature affects the other feature in succession. So you see, it's not that easy to express an expression. There's a lot you have to think about, and a lot of it is psychological. I mean, what I mean is, like, you have to think about the psychology of what's happening. What is this person thinking? What is this person disgusted of? So there has to be some sort of narrative. So when you are choosing expressions, and here come my notes, when you are choosing expressions, do not forget, do not use symbols. Okay? Write this back to me, everyone. Rule number 2. Think of the features. No, that's not how you say it. Say it more eloquently, idiot. The feature equation, the equation of features, how the features map out the expression. So map out the expression through, wow, through features, not through a symbol. Do not use symbols. This is wrong. More goes into this. So this has a lot to do with anatomy. And then think of the narrative, the psychology, which is the emotions. Okay, so a lot goes into features, boys and girls. It's not that easy to just go in there and give your little portrait some expression. It's not that easy. And I'm saying it's not that easy, and I'm not just leaving it there. I'm telling you how you can do it properly. You do it properly by making sure that you consider the anatomy. You do not use the symbols. And you think of the psychology of the narrative, what's making her so disgusted. That might guide you to doing a better job at expressing the expression. All right, do not use symbols. Good, good, good. Map out the expression through the features. How the features map out the expression through the feature. Symbols are bad, okay? Boycott symbols. Symbols are the devil. So basically, always give your art a backstory so you can always make it work. Exactly. A narrative is a really powerful backbone to an art piece, even if it's just a portrait. There's always a narrative. Even if you take out an aspect of the form, if you take out a dimension and there's only 2 dimensions left, there is still a narrative. A narrative is immune to the choices and the creative choices and the scientific choices you make in your art. Narratives push you. Narratives get you to finish the damn painting. So please don't forget that narratives are a big part. It's not just some sort of stale lab experiment that we're dissecting. It's not some sort of, that's not what art is. It's not a scientific lab experiment. It's not a lab. It's a creative. It's like you're creating something. So maybe it might be a lab, but there's a lot of creativity involved, as well as the science. Give me another expression you guys want to see. So disgust was pretty complicated. Let's do something a little bit more familiar. Do you guys want sad, mad, or happy? Right now she's pretty content. She's like, okay, so they're paying me like $50 an hour to just sit here and smile. So I'm just going to smile and go home. Probably get a mocha latte. Is a mocha latte even a thing? I'm not a coffee drinker. Okay, constipated. Mad, overjoyed, anger, mad, nerd rage, giggity, mad. Um, Mad. Okay, mad. So mad is another really scary and complicated expression. Anger is something that causes you to stiffen up. So let's say she caught her mom sleep. Okay, no, that's just weird. That's more disgust, actually. If she caught her mom with the pool boy, that's disgust. What makes someone really, really mad? She found out that after paying all of her loans, the student loan company ended up sending her a letter saying that she still owes them $3,500. All right, and she's looking at the paper and she's pissed as fuck. She's not worried. She's pissed. So let's see what happens. When you get angry, when I get angry, I kind of stiffen up. Like I kind of just, I don't do any expressions. I'm not aware. My face numbs out. I'm not aware of my eyebrows. I'm not aware of anything. I'm just caught. I'm seeing red. I'm caught in this sort of psychological stun of the recent news that I got. So I'm picking up off of that. I'm thinking about the psychology. I'm not using the symbol, so I'm not going to go in and make her eyebrows angry. You see, I'm avoiding the symbol. Did I make her eyebrows tilt forward? No, because that's a symbol. That's a universal symbol. It's not going to work here because we are dealing with anatomy. So I'm stiffening up all her features. The well of information from which I am finding and making these choices is a completely science-driven, realism-driven well. It has nothing to do with the symbols. The symbols are not guiding me. So I'm going to make her eyebrows a little less expressive. So no arch in the eyebrow. If you want to make eyebrows less expressive, uh, sort of make a more mild arch. Write that back to me because I want to know that you guys heard that. I'm not repeating it. I just see the chat like moving. I see it in the corner of my eye. It's just like moving really fast. Okay, so I'm kind of creating a less curved eyebrow arch, more expressive, mild arch. No, that's not what I'm saying. Less expressive equals mild arch. Alright, make a more mild arch if you don't want to express a lot through the eyebrows. You want to make it a very stiff eyebrow, make the eyebrow arch kind of non-existent. So let me show you an example of this in real life. A woman with a very, very non-existent eyebrow arch. Her name is Eva Green. And she, I thought there was an E. And she has non-existent eyebrow. Very, very flat brows. And if you cover her face, cover half her face, she's got the most unexpressive top half of her eyes. Without the squinting that she does with her eyes, there's pretty much very, very little expression artistically. You know, if we break it down, if we break her features down, which features carry the most expression in her face, it would be her eye squinting or not squinting, and her mouth. Her eyebrows carry zero expression because the arch is non-existent. Alright? She doesn't have much of an arch. But let's say, which actress has like a massive arch in her eyebrows? Cotillard. She doesn't have that much of an arch. They don't really like expressing themselves in these diva shots. Like if you catch them in movies, you'll see moments where the arch and the eyebrows, they really take advantage of it. Okay, let's think. Okay, there we go. I don't know. She does a lot with her eyebrows. This lady is all eyebrows all day. There's this. There's this. You should see her in movies, though. In movies, she dances with her eyebrows as much as she dances with anything else. Yeah, I can't find that one scene from that that I'm thinking about? A very specific scene. There we go. Eyebrows, very, very expressive. Especially the inner part of her eyebrow. Because that arch is there. Shock. Not much happening, but the placement and asymmetry of her eyebrows is really carrying that expression. Expression here, eyebrows, eyebrows. Very high. The arch is very high. Okay, so don't forget that about eyebrows as well. So let's continue this anger. Again, what we need to do is get rid of those dimples. I'm getting rid of her smile completely. Kind of getting rid of that pucker that she's doing. So anger is very, very close to no expression, but it's also very influenced by the sort of bubbling expression that's waiting to attack someone. So you know you have to pass through content before you get to angry. Okay, so I've got to get rid of these dimples. She's not smiling. She's not impressed. She owes $3,500 now. Got to get rid of the smile bump. Oh yeah, by the way, in the previous image. Okay, in the previous image here, we need to make a larger shadow. Alright, just like that, because this cheek is more expanded and higher than this one. So we need to push that. Her eyes are still smiling, because her lips are still sort of puckered. You might want to give some dimples into the brow, into the chin, and then dimples onto the brow right here, because this brow is really pushed up. Sorry. Alright, let's get back to business. Less of a smile, so we've got to take out the smile. We've got to take out the smiling cheeks. So this is another thing that we're thinking about. We're thinking about features, and how features are choosing what's happening here. So the smiling cheeks are not letting us sort of get that real emotionless stiffness happening. And I gotta get rid of that smile, so I'm gonna have to push the lips down even more. So this is where the lack of expression is coming from. So we can bring in some more symmetry with the symmetry here. Asymmetry, the symmetry here can be pushed off to this cheek. And she could be not smiling, but kind of pursing her lips, if that's what it's called. And again, we want to make the eyes less dreamy, so less upper eyelid and more of the eyeball. So the rage is starting to come through now, because again it has to do with features. What I'm doing here is I'm combining different features. Every feature that I've changed has changed mildly, but altogether they create a different look. So let me try to do this a little better. So like that Eva Green picture we just saw, that I closed, the one where she's really angry looking back from the 300 movie, that was also rage. Images. So where was that? Right here. Lots of upper eye whites. The eyes aren't dreamy. We're not seeing much of the upper eyelid. She does have hooded eyes, but we're seeing lots of white in the eye, very little expression. Very little expression in the eyebrows, and the rage is there. She seems enraged. So eyebrows aren't doing much right now. So I want to move this away from shock in a second. Still too close to dreamy eyes. So it's you dissecting, it's you, not dissecting, it's you sort of experimenting. But you have to keep going back to the narrative as well. You can't just keep the features or the way you paint hoping that you'll stumble upon it. The narrative will help you stumble upon it. Now, I'm going to say this, and don't take it out of context. You can bring in, not out of context, don't overdo it. You can bring in parts of the symbol. That's a final bit of this lesson today. You can, at one point, go back to the symbol and help the symbol guide you, but only in a very small margin. We don't want the symbol to affect the anatomy in any way. So the symbol can be used as long as it's not affecting the anatomy. Write that back to me. So a larger shadow under the eye. Her eyes became too big. I'm just going to shrink them. Filter, liquefy. Damn it. Sorry about that sound. That's my dryer. Probably going to buzz in a sec. Okay. So the eyebrows are pretty low. So I need to cast that shadow in there. And I need to make the lips a little more curled, as if ready to say something. More whites under the eye. The symbol can be used as long as it's not affecting the anatomy. Good. Good job, guys. Throwing in some more shadow to further push the fact that her eyebrows are creeping in above her eyes, especially the inner eye. And this is what I mean by the symbol allowed to come in. We can push the symbol in ever so gently. We gotta make sure though that we keep the eyes looking shocked. There is lots of shock and anger. So the symbol is coming in. The eyebrows are doing their thing, but I mean, of course, symbols source from something. Symbols come from something. They come from something that we experience day to day. So they do, cartoonists and painters, they all see some universal sort of signifiers in angry faces, and usually the eyebrows are very, very low. But they're not like that. What they do is something very different. That is close to that, but anatomy driven. Again, I want to make the lips a little curled. I feel like the lips will do much more than that. Like they're ready to say something. Probably one lip above the other. Just gentle, gentle symmetry, nothing expressive. And then we go back to that Eva Green reference, and we see that the eyes, after they've shockingly opened up, the lower eyelid sort of takes the stage, and we see a squint. Now if I don't get rid of that that water under her eyes, she looks like she's crying, so we'll have to get rid of that so she doesn't look like she's crying. And I want to bring in more whites in the eyes. There's not enough lid over the eye. Sorry about that. Enough lid over the eye to allow those shadows to exist. So, and I don't want her to look like she's crying. There is rage and anger. I mean, there is rage in crying. So if you want to make her cry, you just need to bring in some tears, and it's a really expressive sort of thing happening there. And the only shadows I throw over are not lid shadows, they are the shadows caused by brow. Again, I want to keep bringing in the whites to keep that feeling of rage. Very, very careful about how much white I place above the pupil. Does anyone know why I'm so careful about this? I don't want to make her lips wrinkled in the corners, because that's kind of what you do when you're angry. She's kind of starting to look like a lunatic right now because I made it seem like she was smiling. I want to push corners of her lips in. Keep kind of finding the combination of low eyebrow and opened eyes. And the lower eyelids are taking the stage again, so what's happening is they're catching more light. The surface area is exposed, and we don't have to make them symmetrical. Again, the rage is sort of ready to burst. As for rage, like road rage, as for when you are crazy, you know, like you're crazy, you're ready to kill something, and you're howling and you're growling and you're roaring and you're in the middle of battle, it just goes to hell. It goes to shit. There's all kinds of expressions. Let's look at an example. Woman yelling. Okay, so what we see is like a complete break in all of the. First of all, you have to break the cute. You can't do the cute. If you want to have the cute, it's very different. Let's look at a baby yelling. You're cute. I hate this fucking baby right here. I'm so sick of his fucking face. Shrek. Alright, this one right here. If you have to like paint like a cute little yordle or something and he has to be yelling, you have to make sure you maintain the cute. So the eyes still have to be very, very large. But when you're trying to create an adult who is very angry, you have to break the cuteness triangle a little bit. The mouth has to extend past the triangle's base. You have to make sure the mouth is large enough. Definitely laugh lines. So you're going in on age. Rage is like the complete opposite of beauty. This is perfect. She's kind of pushing him that way. See the laugh line, the mouth overly oversized. This is Photoshop. You can see the liquify over here, but it still reads. It's still working to us, because if we can bring this anatomy into a painting. Laugh line, oversized mouth, squinted eyes. The ogre is starting to sneak in a little bit. The ogre and age are starting to sneak in. If you really want to make like a warrior princess fighting, she cannot look like some sort of Victoria's Secret pouting girl. You have to bring in that rage. You have to bring in that ogre. All right. So lastly, cancel. We have like that little thing I told you about with the cheek. We have that cheek sort of. It's not really the dimple. It's sort of like dimple part 1. Nope. Not so much a milk mustache though. And you can have her mouth a little bit open. And it's asymmetrical. Her eyes look like you don't want to mess with her. At what moment comes a fold between the eyebrows? At what moment comes a fold between the eyebrows? I'm gonna be bringing in that eyebrow fold in just a second. Sorry, I'm not looking at the comments. Kind of just trying to open her mouth a little. I need to push in this chin. Oops. And then keep bringing in the rage. So for me, the reason why I went for this expression of rage than the crazy, angry warrior princess rage is because this rage here is more complicated than the one that we can just, distort the face and make the mouth extra large. This one's a little bit more complicated. There's no distortion. It's just the slight little, tiny little details that change everything. Also, as you know from symbols, symbols tell us that nostrils flare up because our breathing changes. So the nostril size needs to be a little bit bigger. So the symbols can guide, but they cannot guide outside of anatomy. So I'm just trying to increase the size of her. Oopsie. Size of her nostrils here. Don't have much time, so I kind of have to get to the critiques. Trying to give her lips some asymmetry. And the squint is needed. The squint is really, really important in this case. We're kind of just like tilting the dreamy eye. It's the opposite of the dreamy eye upside down. Eyebrows are causing a lot, and she's probably close to tears, She's probably like, what the fuck, I just finished paying off $25K in debt, and these motherfuckers are telling me I still owe them $3,500. It's bullshit. Nah, this looks more like she walked in on her boyfriend cheating on her or something. Her mouth would be a little bit more open. Gotta bring in those lip corners to finish off the lips. That's too dark. Make sure the ladder isn't interrupted. So what did you guys learn about symbols and expressions today? What did you learn? If you can summarize it in one sentence. I want to see what you guys say. I really like this lesson. I think concentrating on one aspect is very helpful. Yes, of course it is. All our attention goes to one thing and we learn it efficiently. I don't always do this. I do this when I have time and when there is a good enough topic. That's sort of when I do this. So let's kind of push this expression. So let's see what everyone said. Don't rely on cartoon-like expressions to convey the emotion. Excellent, Sakranasia. Today I learned that symbols are inaccurate representations of facial anatomy and that real facial structure has different muscle effects. And real expressions, real expressions have different muscle effects. They affect the muscles differently. It's a combination, an equation of different muscles reacting to an emotion that is sourced from a psychological state. Again, that sources from a narrative that affect the muscles in a very, very small but very effective, immediately readable way. Don't rely on symbols and instead focus on the subtle changes in the anatomy of the face. Subtle, that's the good word. There is subtlety in conveying expressions. You don't have to go crazy. Excellent. That's what I like to hear, guys. Just need to fix this dark spot right over here. Still a bit faded for my taste. to just, because the eyelids are so stretched out, they kind of share the same value as the cheek after they stretched out enough. So let's change this into sadness. So let's do sadness. We did happy, mad. Actually, we didn't do happy. We did like kind of stupid. Let's change it to sad. Remember, very little. There's a small border, a very thin paper wall between anger, rage, and severe mourning, or the expression of mourning, or the expression of like sort of depression or something. What is the word for that? You know, severe sadness. I mean, you're kind of like ready to cry. Anyways, the water is welling up near the half of her face right here. Changing the value of her eyes. Her eyebrows are also going to change. They're going to be a little bit more upward. Sometimes when you cry, you can't control what happens to your face. People kind of look ugly when they cry. Woman crying. You kind of enter that old person, old girl face. You see that? Big mouth, eyes closed. You're getting close to the yoga, or big nose. We kind of just inverted it. Okay, I want to do something really stupid. Okay, okay, let's cover our eyes. This looks like the most ridiculous face. You're just like, okay, I'm so mature. Oh my god. Okay, right, where else? Right here, it's kind of rage. Over here, the difference between this one and this one is that the eyebrows are upturned. Very, very subtle difference. Very small, again, paper wall. Eyebrows kind of upturned. It's kind of angry, but I can kind of see the upturned in the muscle. If the eyebrows don't follow. Upturned eyebrows for angry, sad business girl. Okay, where else do we... Stupid Google. Give me something real. This is so fake. That's kind of good. Eyebrows upturned. Really upturned. Again, we can't control what happens to our face. My cry face is so fugly. Like, you never want to see my cry face. Okay, so I'm turning the eyebrows up. So, sadness is kind of the surrender after the rage. So you kind of surrender after. You're like, oh shit, I'm tired of being angry. Let me just cry. The lips also change. The brows go, the chin goes up. And then we have asymmetry. Sorry, I shouldn't have left liquefy. Asymmetry. So one lip kind of just lets go. And then nostrils flare up. When nostrils flare up, we have... Sorry, I'm just laughing at this girl. We're like tormenting her. We have the cheek lines. If you want, you can make the cheek line a little thinner as well. You can get away with it when someone's crying. It does make her look old, but that's okay because she's kind of crying. It's very, very difficult to look beautiful and glamorous when you cry. It's just, it's not, it doesn't work. You look fugly, hide your face. That's why women hide their face when they cry. They're like, oh, people are gonna think I'm ugly. Okay, so let's go through them all. There's her. Her face is completely changed. Here she's more glamorous, so it's a completely different girl now. Then we've got disgust. Kind of overexpressive here. Let me critique myself. See what I can do to make it a little bit more subtle. She's gonna be like, she's kind of saying like, I don't know. So I want to make it a little less expressive. And her eyes need to be a little bit more shocked. So we're seeing more whites under this eye. Okay, so that's a little bit more discussed. There's also the fact that the shadow shrinks because we tuck in our chin. Again, like I told you, like I'm tucking my chin in right now if you can hear it in my voice. When you're grossed out of something, you kind of tuck your chin in. Everything just kind of tries to move away. Let's say there's a stink and there's her face. You kind of like tuck everything in. Like you're kind of disgusted, so you tuck your chin in, and so the chin has less of a cast shadow. So to make it seem like her chin is being tucked in, you kind of have to shrink that cast shadow because there's less of a space now because you tucked your chin in. So what happens is the cast shadow is shorter and the light on the chin is sooner. Now she looks like she's going like this. She's like, ew, not wearing any hand-me-downs. There's so much hatred in my voice for girls like that. Okay, I had 3 sisters, sue me. I have 3 sisters, not had. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, this one looks a little bit more disgusted. This one's like unimpressed, disgusted. This one's like, oh my god. Can't believe Danny asked me out. Then you've got rage. Rage is again borderline anger or sadness. So one thing that I would say to critique myself again is to increase the lips but move them down. Sort of widening the lips, but I'm very careful not to make it seem like she's smiling. More whites under the eye than anywhere else. Let me go full 100% opacity. Kind of bring in more of that. Really careful not to make it seem like she's crying because she's not there yet. Psychologically, she's still trying to cut someone's head off. So this is more rage or pending rage or anger or sternness or shock. It can be a lot. And then you've got anger at when she's finally breaking. When she starts to break. And then eventually when she breaks, it'll look something like this. Something like this. Like really like, let's hide your face please because you look like shit. kind of thing going on. She's really breaking. And when we break, and we push the lips anywhere, that affects the features. So there's going to be a deeper cheek line. Remember, features are affecting each other. Alright. More rage. More content. So it's like someone told her, alright, I don't really care. I don't care if Ashley has a new boyfriend. Well, yeah, guess what? That new boyfriend is your boyfriend. What? Are you serious? I'm gonna kill that bitch. How could he do this to me? Oh my god. Okay, nice narrative right there. Excuse the squeals. Sorry, that was really that was really high pitched for you guys. Note to self, don't be around Ista if you feel like crying. Oh man, I wouldn't laugh at you. If you guys were crying, I wouldn't laugh. I'd kind of like hug you or something. So, that's pretty much it for today. I think we ran out of time for critique. Oh yeah, someone was asking about eyebrows. Alright, so let's go through all of these again one more time with eyebrows. So when you push eyebrows up, they have like a little bulge. This bulge can just sit as a highlight. You don't need to get shadow and start overdrawing shit. Just get the highlight. It's like the tip of the nose. You just need to get the highlight. This eyebrow went up 2 ways. So the bridge and the arc, the tip and the arc of the eyebrow get new light because they went up. She's like, what? So over here, the eyebrows haven't gone up. I'm still thinking about her story. So they've sort of bent down, so what we need to see is an edge where they don't blend. right over here. Kind of like a shadow right at the very tip, right near the end. Here she's like, here is more of a content rage, like she's biking, like she's in a marathon, and she's like gonna win first place. If she doesn't, she's gonna put poison in the winner's cup because she really wants it really bad. She wants to win. So here is more of a focus. There's more focus in this than what we had before, which was just content, not content, expressionless. This is more focus. When you focus your eyebrows, you're kind of straining your eyebrows to see something. If it's not something right in front of you, you're just trying to see something in your mind. You're like, if I think really hard about this, it'll probably come to me. Oh my god, that eczema is shit. Okay, all I had to eat today was a cup of iced tea. So the sugar's running through. I'm kind of getting dizzy now. So more focus than anger. Do you see the more focus? She's trying to see something in her mind's eye or right in front of her. Or it's like Legolas trying to find something in the distance. But this is more rage or pending rage. And remember, rage, experienced rage, realized rage is asymmetrical. So this is rage. Anger rage doesn't necessarily always mean anger. Temper doesn't always necessarily mean anger. Temper is like your general instability of emotion, I guess. When someone has a good temper, someone doesn't get angry or sad or bad or mad or glad very fast. They're very cool. So when someone is enraged, it does not have to mean that someone is very angry. It can mean someone's ready to cry their eyeballs off. Right? Okay. So, repeat to me again what we learned today, just for a final recap. I can't, I'm too happy at the moment. You should upload that to YouTube, just those few seconds. Maybe I will. Next lesson we will see Ashley's reaction to her finding out, one with a blue eye. High school histrionics. What? Esta should make all her lessons a continuous Ashley metaphor. Ashley is the bad guy. She's the one who took her boyfriend. This is Kelly. If you try to remember something, you look up and to the right. You look up and to the what? Or the side. Oh yeah, or you're trying to remember something, like you look to the side. As if you're looking in your brain for it. As if there's like a filing cabinet in your brain. You're like, he's getting it. Trying to remember it. New viewers 6 months from now think Ashley and her trail of conquests are actual people. Or if it's a bad memory, you look in the lower corner. Yeah, that's good, Mr. Mambuto. That's very, very good. Symbols can jump off a cliff. Yes, they can. Crumbles are crappy instruments. Is that from Dr. Brule? Symbols. Oh, I thought you said crimbles. Sounds like something Dr. Brule would say. She has a very interesting backstory. What I learned was the narrative was important to me. Yes, it is, Ketero. Symbols bad, expressions subtle, Ashley sucks, so do the student loans. I love you guys. Don't rely on symbols, do subtle expression. Kelly versus Ashley, epic rap battles of history. Symbols are kind of bad, keep the expressions subtle. Good. Very good today. Very good job, everyone. Okay, so thank you, Kelly, for coming today, and have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.